Hello everyone, this is the pedal board that I put together. It's nicely enclosed, so the sides, it keeps all the pedals very neat out of the way. This kind of pedal board though creates a problem. This is down here. This is my input. So anytime I want to disconnect the input, I have to sort of take the compressor up and mess around like that. And then at the other end, the output's kind of okay, but I would have room for another pedal here, and so it's not that great. This kind of touches on the side there. So the normal solution for this is to build a breakout box, and I've got this aluminium box, and the idea is it should go around the back there and provide the inputs and outputs of the board, so that I don't have to change any of the patching on the rest of the board. So that's what we're going to build. Okay, so here we are. We've got the box. It's actually called a stomp box. I'll put the link in the description. These jack sockets. So the idea is that we'll place two of these on the top like there, and then two in there, so they don't actually clash when the unit's assembled. Now I got one metal jack which I'm going to use probably the input or the output to the amp, doesn't really matter. The screen of the jack is actually connected to this metal part of the jack, and by screwing this into the box, that will ground the whole box, which will help reduce any interference. It's actually a stereo jack because I couldn't find a mono one, but yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll just wire it to the tip, and you only want to do one metal jack, because if you use a metal jack on both sides, you're creating a ground loop, and that might make interference worse rather than better. Okay, so this box, which I measured before, is 110 millimeters. So we need 4 equally spaced jacks. It's a fence post problem. So remember, divide by 5. Divide by 4. I want to place the ones on the top. I'll place them slightly towards the top. So this is 60. So I want to place them about a third the way down, which is 20. 20 here and here. Okay. All right. And this was 110 divided by 5 is 22. So first jack will go here. 22. The other one will be 22 from this end. So I just think it looks nicer if the ones on the top are further apart rather than closer together. Okay, that's that marked. Same trick on the front. This is painter's tape. I know, or masking tape, people call it. So this time I want this in the middle. It's 35, so that's 17, and near enough. Okay, and these need to be double 22, which is 44. The edge of this box is curved, so it's a little bit awkward to measure. So again, 44. They should be pretty much 22 apart. 25, okay, got a little off. Won't matter. Near enough. Okay, so now the holes that we need to drill. This is, if it'll focus, this is 12 millimeters for the metal one. Yeah. These slightly smaller. 12 is probably be okay. Yeah, so like 10.7, 11. So I'll probably just drill this 12 as well. Okay, so here we are with a piece that we marked out. Best to center punch before we start drilling. That way the drill won't slip around and move away from where you intend to drill. So a couple of those. And here too. Alright, so we start drilling metal so that the drill goes where you want it to. If you don't center punch, you can start drilling and the drill can just slide all the way across the thing you're trying to drill. Again, place this in a toolmaker's vise. No, it isn't. Put it in there. Okay, that's got it. These, I'm going to start with a, what is this? It's a 4mm drill to start with. Here we go. This is a 8mm drill now. From 8, we're going to 12. Well, I didn't see that coming. Okay, well, I think I'll leave it in anyway. Okay, here a little bit further on. I decided going from 8 to 12 was a little bit too much of a jump. So I'm going to do 10 this time before going to 12. And Yeah, there we go. That's not happy. Okay, guess I need a better vise. But you know, could try going through from the other side. Just that's got it. Clipped it. Okay, so back on the other side. One thing you want to make sure you do after you finish is to thoroughly vacuum the inside of the box. Make sure you get all of these pieces of swarf away. You certainly don't want any inside the box because they can cause a short, and you definitely don't want to get any near your pickups. Okay, well, that didn't turn out too bad in the end. I got the stop holes in the side, look pretty good. Just testing the metal jack for size, fits quite nicely, and then the other ones, it's all gonna fit together very well. Okay, so with these jacks, there's something that you need to be aware of. Just a bit closer so you can see you've got connectors on both sides, and the reason for that is that there are these little kind of switches here, and what happens when you push the jack in, it actually lifts off those contacts, so only one side is actually connected to the jack. So just fix the focus again. So as we are now, if I test this, see this side is connected together and this side is connected together. When we put a jack in, however, now they're not connected together anymore, and the tip here go to this connector, not to that one, and the ring go there, not to that one. So the reason they're like this is when you're using, let's say for a stereo input, you can have two jacks like this. This is your right or your mono in, and it can just connect straight across to that one. So when there's jack connected, these two contacts here, they won't go anywhere. But if you don't plug anything into the other side, then what you end up with is the signal on this side, goes to both. So that's kind of how you get these, left mono, right stereo connections. So I wanted to check this. Here we are. So because this is a stereo or a balanced jack socket, there are two connectors. The ring here goes out here. The tip will only go to one of these. And it's the one that's furthest in. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. So we've got to get closer. And because this is a mono jack, the ring here will go to this connector. So I need to be very careful not to bridge these when I'm soldering. So just here. Okay, now what we want to do is prepare the cable. It's a high quality signal cable. You don't want it too long, you don't want it too short. So ideally, you want to be able to open this thing up, have a look at it, but not so long that it's difficult to cram the cables inside. So this kind of length looks pretty good. So it's here. Strip the other end as well. There you go. Okay, I need one more of these. So, do we say about this long? Okay, and just twist those nicely. I'm going to tin these in a minute. To the other end. You just want to make sure here that you don't have a little slither of screen wire along the side of the signal cable. If it's there and you don't see it, you really run the risk of creating a short. Okay, so just want to strip these ends as well, twist them, the white cable, looking good. Okay, I'm just going to get set up for soldering. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. It's best before you try soldering anything it's called tinning. So you want to put some solder on these on the connections before you actually start. Okay, I'm going to do the same here. Now. Okay, it's important that the whatever you're trying to solder is heated up, because just turn that around. So solder is actually metal, an alloy of metals, and in the middle it has a flux. What happens when you solder, you melt the metal and you sort of boil the flux. It's in the middle there, and because the flux boils, it kind of flows away from the hot area of what you're trying to join. And that actually makes the solder flow. But if the wire of contact is not hot, then what can happen is that the flux can actually get between the solder and the connector, and you get what is called a dry joint, where you get a poor electrical connection. And for our purposes here, what that means is it'll be noisy, or it might not make a connection at all, neither of which we want. So what I'm doing here, if you look closely, I put the soldering iron on one side of the wire, and I sort of try to apply the solder to the other side, and that way I'm guaranteeing really that the wire is hot enough to melt the solder. Okay, one left to do. Okay, that looks pretty good. Alright, here we are with the connector here. Just like we tinned the wires, we're going to tin this as well. Okay, and then we'll probably connect the screen on this little thing here. Okay, it's really difficult to do this and film it at the same time. So now, as long as the solder melts on both sides, that will make a good connection. I think that's going to be a little bit too long. So what I'll do is I'll just cut it a bit shorter. Once again. Right, so it doesn't look very shiny. Not very pleased with it. So let's just we can make that a slightly better connection. It looks a lot better. So here we are with the first connector soldered, and obviously we need to assemble it into the box before we solder the other connector on, otherwise we won't be able to get it in afterwards. So just pass that through there, like so, and somewhere here. Okay, so place washer first, nut second, okay, just, it's going to be okay. Now these, I'll do the white one next. These connection holes are actually large enough for the cable to fit through, so we'll solder like this. Just need to be very careful that the jack side of things is warm enough so it, okay, yeah, you see the way the solder flows there? that's good. Same on this side. Make sure that the jack connector is warmed up. Okay. Once again, let's clean that bit. Okay, so once again, you want to make sure that the connector side, the jack side connection is heated up, and the solder will flow nicely both sides of the joint. And yeah, both sides need to be warm, but the fact that we've already tinned the cable means there's not so much of a worry that side of things is going to be cool. where only one side of the joint is heated, like I said before, the flux will flow to the cold side, and the flux is an insulator, so you won't make a good electrical connection. Okay, so here we are, both sides are connected. You always want to test before you reassemble, so that's good. No short, and yeah. Okay. That looks pretty good. Now I just need to do the last one. Okay, last bit now. Okay, and this side. Again, making sure both sides of the joint are heated up. Okay. Okay, so that's connected, and once again, don't put this thing together without testing. It's good. No short. Okay. Now let's unplug that. Unplug that. That's one side. Now I want to make sure this jack is good and tight. Okay, just a little bit. All right. Okay. And this to go way around. I don't know if that's going to be any good for doing. Slightly, what's that? 14. So there, and then okay. just going to get a next size spanner. Okay, we've got a 15. Alright, this one, 2. Just hold it at the back so it doesn't. Alright. Okay, so now we just need to okay, somewhere in here we got the screws, so just okay, so we'll just put the screws in there. Alright, so that's the finished box. So it looks pretty good. One more thing. Okay, just a bit of duo lock 3M tape. I hate Velcro. This stuff is way better. So the nice thing about this duo lock, first of all, the glue is a lot better, and second of all, they're all the same. They join. You don't have like hooks and loops. Both sides are the same, and they just mesh together. They're much better, much more stable join with it than you do with the Velcro. Here we are, the finished product in place. Got the guitar lead coming in here, I'm just about to see, so nicely attached inside, and the output to the amp is here. So now I get my compressor can stay there, right hard up against the edge of the box. There's no need to remove that every time I want to disconnect the box. And this sounds looking pretty neat too. No longer have this ugly cable sticking out there. Okay, so